Hello.
Hi.
This is our, I guess, maiden voyage of the Loft. And introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Sherry Wheatley. I work with Dr. Dave. I work for Dr. Dave. And we're really just starting this thing to get some information out there and have a good time. And so nice to meet you all.
And I'm Dr. Dave. I'm actually, my name is actually David Thompson. Everybody calls me Dr. Dave. And the Loft was an idea really about resilience, right? And how when things are not going great for you, can you keep it rolling? Yeah. How when your brain doesn't work quite the way you want it to work, you know, what are the cheat codes to that?
Right.
And hopefully we can help folks get through their day. How can you use laughter to get through some of the things that's not that great?
Right. Yeah, I 110% agree with that. I feel like laughter, or maybe not even laughter in just by itself, but a lightheartedness around the day-to-day struggles that we all have, whether it be with mental, emotional health or something with our job or, you know, physical health, our family. There are a lot of things that people, you know, kind of put their finger up to their mouth like, shh, we can't talk about it like that. We can't say this.
Right.
Who cares? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're going through it where we have to go through it. So why not try to have a little bit of fun with that while trying to understand, like, you know, in your head, you would be like, oh, well, I'm just a little crazy, right? But with this, we can be like, no, you're not crazy, but there is something off. You might want to check on it. You might want to check on it, but crazy is not it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really is about, for me, letting people, like, you can feel when your body doesn't work right or your brain doesn't work right, people will think, even though there's a lot of information out there, that they're the only one. Like, I'm the only one going through this. I'm the only one that this is happening to. And it is very lonely. And it happens to most people. Unfortunately, most people don't get the help that they need for a number of reasons. And so in any way that this process and what we're doing now can help folks get the help that they need so they can live the life that they choose, is like, we done our work.
Right. Yeah. And I think, of course, with working in the field that we are in, I think one of our main goals, or one of my main goals, is kind of showing the opposite sides of it. So, you know, you are Dr. David, right? I'm just Miss Sherry, or how I would say, I'm just Miss Sherry. So whereas though you've had the education, the training, you know, all of that for knowing about certain things, I am familiar with it because it's probably a part of my diagnosis, right? And I'm just a very curious person, much like the vast majority of the world.
Yep.
To be like, hey, sometimes I feel like I want to rip my hair out for some reason. Like, I just wake up that way and I don't know why. Hey, could you help me out with that? Because I would really like some answers within that. And I think that it's just going to make people better. This is not a thing of, oh, hey, go get help. Right. Hey, you need a therapist.
Right.
Should everyone have a therapist?
Depends.
Maybe. Who knows?
As a therapist, I sometimes want people not to come in.
Exactly.
Like, oh, here you come.
Right.
Jesus, here you come again.
So I think our goal is not to be like, oh, you need mental health treatment.
Right.
No, just, you know, if you don't understand something, hopefully we can provide a little bit of insight to it. I can provide more insight on, hey, this is how it feels. Yep. This is how I understand it.
And the cheat code thing is really a thing for me. Like, what are the cheat codes? What is the thing? And I use the term cheat code. I got it from my kids because they play video games, and they always look for the cheat code. How do I get around?
Right.
You know, how do I get extra lives in this thing?
Yeah.
And for me, it is a cheat. How do I get through the day with this thing?
Right.
And still, what are those little tricks of my trade that that everybody doesn't necessarily need to know about? But that's how I can get get out of my house.
Right.
Right. That's how I can show up
And get out the bed in the
and get out
morning.
the bed in the morning.
Right.
And what are the ways you trick your mind into thinking and feeling something different than what you actually think and feel?
Right. Yeah, that happens. I think. Are you asking me? Would you like me to answer?
No. I'm just
Okay.
saying. But if
You're
you
just
want
saying it,
to,
Jeremy.
no.
I agree. I agree.
Right.
I do. And there's so many. So what you would, or what we would call it at work, would be, what are your coping skills?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And I think it even goes beyond that, whether it be anxiety or PTSD or what have you. It affects you from the moment that you close your eyes at night to the moment you wake up in the morning.
Sometimes don't allow you to close your eyes at night.
Exactly, right?
Like
And we'll
sending
get
out emails.
And we will certainly
And being
get
mad
there.
when people don't respond at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
Oh, damn they.
And it's like, I sent you this email, and it's like, yeah, and that was at 4:02 a.m. Eastern time. So
Tell the story about when I sent you the text about doing this at all. What time of the morning it
oh
was.
my God. Oh, and now I wish I had my phone. Okay. So even to do this perfect example, actually, because we were both awake, right? So I get a text from this man at 3:15 in the morning, and it was 3 separate texts back to back, right? Now, the way that I have my phone set up, I use sleep mode or do not disturb religiously. Sherry, why do you always have your phone on do not disturb? Because I wish not to be disturbed. Right? Fantastic. So there's also a fun thing called emergency bypass, right? So I have a whole list of people that's on emergency bypass. He is one of them. My mom, sisters, whatever. Okay, great. So I immediately jump up from scrolling on TikTok on my phone, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? And I pull it down, and I can't tell you what it said verbatim, but it's these text messages about, oh my God, we should start a podcast. And you would think a normal person would be like, why in the world is he texting me about a podcast at 3 o'clock in the morning? But me, not being normal, I'm like, oh my God, we should. Oh my goodness. Now, I didn't respond because I knew if I responded at 3 a.m., he would then be like, oh my God, why is she awake? Something's wrong.
Right.
So I played it very strategically. I said, okay, at 10 o'clock, I'm going to text him back. So your mind can kind of take your mind can take you places, that you want to go and that you don't want to go as well.
Right.
And you just cannot control what time that happens.
Nope.
So that makes that very, very interesting.
So, like, let's talk about who we are. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first.
I was hoping you would go first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
I really was.
Rock, paper, scissors? Okay.
Right.
Great. I don't know. So, okay.
By the way, I saw this thing on this show when they did rock, paper, scissors. I'm off course.
No, you're fine.
Rock, paper, scissors, but the guy added gun. It was rock, paper, scissors. He was like gun always wins.
Okay.
I think it was on Psych. Like that's what.
Probably. That is one of your go-tos, actually.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Which we will cover a lot in this show. Okay, like I said, my name is Sherry. I am 29 years old. I'm gonna keep claiming it until the day. Thank you. I'm 29.
Which is 3 more weeks, but okay.
So, and we don't promote violence on this show either. I'm 29 years old. I am an intake coordinator for a substance abuse and mental health treatment center. I have a very, how would you say it, colorful history or mental health background and history. And this goes from things happening when I was a child, being misdiagnosed because of things I was not open with my family and support system for. So I will say that is probably why it is as colorful as it is. For a very long time, I was super duper confused about what the hell is wrong with me? Like, what is going on? Why are my highs so high and my lows ridiculous? And I never really got those answers until it was my first year in college, did not finish. My first year in college, and I basically had a psychotic break. I did not sleep for, I believe it was 6 days and 18 hours straight. So, of course, I went over to the hospital, which was in the middle of nowhere. I went to Allegheny College, which is very far, and there's nothing there. And I met with a psychiatrist for literally 2 hours, and she was like, yeah, you're in a psychotic break, and probably because you're bipolar and you've been untreated for so long. Fast forward to that, my mother is a wonderful, wonderful clinician, and so she has always had, you know, a support system of people like her that did her job as well, that she could send me to try to help. Miss Wheatley was not having it, not at all, because like, yo, there's no way she's bipolar. But me, I didn't know.
Who's Miss Wheatley? You or you or the other Wheatley? I just need that. Look,
I'm Miss Sherry.
Look, I'm sure.
She's Miss Wheatley.
I got you.
Okay.
You lost me for a second.
My apologies. You know, my mom was just not, you know, she just was not comfortable with that diagnosis.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was not comfortable with it at all. One, because bipolar disorder, the way that I like to say, is a heavy hitting diagnosis.
Yeah. Yep. It can be.
It can be,
right.
Especially if it's untreated. So it was kind of like maybe us both being in a little bit of a denial of, oh my gosh, this is something she's going to have to deal with for the rest of her life. And what am I going to do, right? Trying to fix it on her own. But after some time being on a mix of medications, being in therapy, so on and so forth, you know, I can maintain it, but I still have really, really tough days where it's like, I don't want to get up in the morning. I can't really tell you what gives me the will to do so. I haven't identified it, but I do get up in the morning. It's possible to function.
So what Sherry doesn't know, I think you do know,
okay,
is we do work together. I'm the CEO and Chief Clinical Officer of the organization, David's Loft. And there are people at the office who will tell me what they believe your mood is when you walk in.
Really?
Yes. So they will come and say that, Dave, go see Sherry. She's not looking good. And then I will pop up in the office sort of magically, right? And I'm like, what's going on with you? Or they'll say, Sherry in her office with all the lights out, right? So I would show up in the office, and I'm like, and I don't know what you think when I come in. So, because you know, I you know how I do. I knock it open at the same time. I'm like, boom, boom, boom,
exactly,
right? Because you know, every one of the doors is mine.
Exactly.
Right? Like, boom, and what's going on with you?
Right.
And you sitting up there, you know, with the heat on 3,000, and I'm like, what's wrong? Open the blinds up, cut the lights on.
Yeah.
And I'll say, well, are you looking out the window? Are you about to open it and get on the ledge, or are you all the way on the ledge? Right?
Yes.
And then you'll tell me what it is, right? You I'm like, I got one foot dangling.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And then I'm like, okay, let's see how we can reel this in.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can, And there's also a few people who will say something's wrong, and I won't do anything.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah,
you don't know, right?
You don't know. Something's wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, go away. Right. But yeah, right. I'm sorry to interrupt that. But
no, you're fine. No, that was actually a piece of, that was going to be what I was going to end with. It's really cool to have that support system. And he's absolutely right. He would come in, shut on all my lights, and sometimes just walk right on out.
Yeah.
Because why are you sitting in the dark?
Yeah, we're not doing that.
So, yeah, we're not sitting in the dark. We're not
doing that in
anymore.
here at all, right?
And I'm like, what if it's my eyes?
Right,
like, what if that's, your shades are always down.
I don't know what to tell you.
So, yeah, it feels good to have that.
My shades are down because I hate sunlight.
Why can't I just hate
because that's
sunlight?
not how it always is.
So, yeah, I'm very doom and gloom. Oh, that's a very frequent question of yours, too.
What?
Yes, are we doom and gloom today?
Yeah, what's
and it's like, no,
what's
not really
with
doom,
right.
just a little gloomy.
So and you do the same thing with me.
I do.
You're looking particularly angry today. And I'm like, yes, I am.
Particularly perturbed, I would say.
Right.
Disrupted.
Yeah.
So that's really, that's a little chunk of who I am and what my story is. David is one of my favorite people to talk to on this planet about anything in the world. So when he came up with this idea of me being an avid, podcast watcher, I was like, oh my God.
Right.
We could really kill this, and it's going to be awesome. So
Right.
I'm just grateful to be here. And stay tuned, folks.
I'm Dr. David H. Thompson Jr. Sherry and I actually didn't meet at work. I met Sherry through her mom, and when she was a little girl, and the whole family has become just a part of my family. Like that, Sherry's like my niece. I call her my niece / daughter because I've kind of seen how she has kind of moved through. Her development and just amazing based on what I know about her. It's just amazing. I'm the father of 4. I have a 35-year-old son, and then my next son is 14. Then I have a 12-year-old and 11-year-old, so I have 4 sons. 3 of my sons have neurocognitive disorders, have ADHD, and 1 has co-occurring autism, my younger son, Colin. And those are my dudes. I know it sounds a little crazy to jump from a 35-year-old to a 14-year-old. And yes, I did lose my mind for a short period of time. But because I was done. Like, I was done. Like, he was out of the house, right? And then we decided that, apparently we wanted some more, right? And,
very interesting.
Yeah, it's way too damn interesting, actually. I started an organization called David's Loft Clinical Programs. And we're an integrated behavioral health organization, meaning that we provide not only behavioral health treatment, both inpatient and outpatient, but we also provide primary care. It's really because that working in that way is been proven to support people to be able to get their needs met in a different kind of a way. And also it works, right? When your therapist, your substance use counselor, and your primary care physician and your psychiatrist all work in the same place together, we're able to talk to people in a different kind of a way, right? And we're able to manage disorders in a different kind of a way. And evidence-based is just my thing, research is very important to me, and not experimenting. What I say, we're not going to experiment on anybody around here, right? We're going to use treatments that actually work because they've been proven to work, and that sort of thing. So we have locations throughout Baltimore. It was not my plan when I started it. I did not want that at all. I thought I was going to have this little small, what I used to call boutique program with like 12 people, and we would sit around a room and do therapy, and it was and that's not what happened.
Very cutesy,
we got
yes.
A buttload of employees, and a buttload of clients and patients.
It's much bigger than I wanted.
Yeah, it's way bigger than what I wanted, and it can be at times very difficult to manage. And I never thought it was my calling because I'm a mental health guy, not a substance use. So most of the clients who come through our front door come through for a substance use reason, but our specialty is co-occurring disorders. That's what we do, and I love the work. So I've had ADHD all of my life, and I didn't realize that until I was an adult. I remember when my oldest son, Camden, was struggling in 8th grade. A very good friend of mine at the time was a board-certified child psychiatrist, right? And so I'm like, something's going on. He's a smart kid. Things are not connecting, so and so on. So I took him to see her, and she did the testing and everything, and diagnosed him with ADHD. Well, actually, he has ADD. He doesn't have hyperactivity at the time. He just and that's attention deficit disorder. Sorry for using acronyms,
No,
but I know you know.
You're
Right.
fine.
So she does what she does with him, and then after she's done, and her name was Jude, she actually passed away from breast cancer, and Jude said, so I got him squared away. What about you?
Right.
And I said, what? She was like,
Come again?
She said, you need some medication.
Right.
And I said, what? And I was like, I didn't come here for that. And she said, Dave, you need some medication.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, I don't even know how you gotten where you are in life without ever being on medication.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I didn't have my doctorate at the time, but I did have a master's degree. And so I'm like, well, and she was like, yo, you got to take something. Because she was like, your energy, Like, she was like, even when you come in the room, it was just too much,
Yeah.
right? She was like, we got to calm that down. And I
Right.
was like, okay, I'll try it. And she was like, what do you have to lose if you don't have ADHD and I give you this medicine? It won't work, right?
Right.
And I was like, okay. And so in my mind, I was thinking, she don't know what she's talking about, right? And besides, I probably just treat that one right there because he was in private school, and I'm like, I pay way too much money for you to get a C.
To say, this is not a 2-for-1
No,
special,
I'm
man.
like, dude, you get D's. I paid for that. No, no, fix him. Like,
Fix him,
fix him. I'm good, right?
Thank you.
And so I started taking it. I wasn't even like hesitant to take it. I started taking the medicine, and like my world just changed. Like I could things that I couldn't do, I could do.
Yeah.
His world changed. He went from being a D student to being a B plus A student. You know, I was then able to start to complete tasks. I mean, and I always, because I'm driven, I've always been good at whatever I did, right? Besides the ADHD, but now I could be better. I didn't. It didn't take as much energy to do things. It didn't take 16 bottles of Diet Coke for me to get through a simple little thing, right?
Yes.
And the Diet Coke was just a self-medicator, right? Just it. That's all. And then for me, once I was diagnosed, I'm started doing research, right? What is it about?
Right.
And while I was in the clinical field at the time, because I was living very, like, I didn't feel not normal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was just a thing. Like, and a lot of it was other people just attributed to my personality, but really was ADHD stuff, right? The walking away from people in their mid senses, right? And like it's a David thing, but it's also like I actually know what you're going to say. At the end, right? Because my brain has moved forward.
Right.
Past that, and it doesn't help where I'm kind of a smart guy, right? Yeah. So when you're kind of super smart and your brain is moving at miles an hour, like I know what you're going to say next, right? Because I'm thinking through it. But also I'm not listening to you either because I'm moving 10 steps ahead. So I'm like, I know what you're going to say. I can just walk away from you, because you're taking too long to get to that thing, right?
Yes. So it's a patience.
Yeah. It's like, can you just get to the end? Because I already know what you're going to say. Okay, gotcha. And so it was that. But there are things that I normalized in my life that not normal, like the amount of times I have to return home in the morning, like, because I would start driving to work and like, oh, I left mine, I gotta go back home, and I'll get back in, oh, I left mine and have to go back home, and then, oh, I left mine and have to go back home. And I remember she also said you have to read this book called Driven to Distraction, which was super. It made me understand what was going on with me my entire life, and one of the other reasons I wanted us to do this together is because I'm a Generation Xer, and you are. Whatever their pet peeve thing.
Unfortunately, because of the year I was born, I'm a Gen Z, but I don't claim the Gen Z.
So as an Xer, I was, the way we were raised was, I mean, and my mother was a nurse, and so she wasn't like, you got ADHD. She was like, stay in the chair. Don't let those people call me from school and make me have to come up there, right? And so that's how I managed myself. So, with no medication. She didn't want to hear nothing about ADHD.
No, of course not.
And in the 70s, it wasn't that big of a thing. It wasn't that big of a thing. So that's kind of, what I have to deal with. Most people don't understand that the ADHD brain, I'm taking in a lot of information at once. So I'm always aware of everything. Like I can hear, if I'm in a room with fluorescent lights, I can hear the buzzing of the fluorescent lights. So I got a lot of extraneous stimuli coming in or stuff coming in that I have to filter, which where a lot of the agitation comes from. Because I'm always filtering. I'm filtering at the same time. So to be in a place where I have a doctorate degree, successfully run a multi-million-dollar organization. I shouldn't be here based on statistics. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But when you add in, some of the mediating factors or things that kind of supported me, with having a driven parent, and that kind of stuff. That's really what it's about. But it could very easily have gone another way. I could have easily dropped out of high school. I could have very easily become disillusioned about the educational system that wasn't working for me, right? And the misnomers or the what people don't understand about people thinking that folks with ADHD are not smart, and that's so
not,
far from the truth, right? My natural intelligence is why I was able to get through school and half do the work, but if I'm sitting in a spot.
Yeah.
I'm taking it all in, even though I'm drawing pictures or clowning or whatever, mostly clowning. I still would hear. I remember having teachers who hated me and hated me even more because I got an A on every test, even though I didn't pay attention, even though I was being disruptive all the time, right? And they were like, oh, because in their mind, oh, you're not smart, or to be honest, you're dumb. And so, I know how to, you're not going to get this. And I would turn in my paper. I would finish before everybody else, turn it in, and they will be angry, right? So it blew my mind as a kid. I didn't understand, why is this grown up mad at me? Right?
Yeah.
And, it's difficult when you got a disruptive kid in class and they're smart. Right,
Yeah.
because the whole, the stories that they want to tell themselves just doesn't connect. And I also had a parent who was, if she felt like something was happening there, she was going to intervene, right? It wasn't like, but I still had to sit in my seat, right? She still didn't want to hear all that. So it brings us kind of, to where we are today, and why I feel so strongly about doing this is that there was a lot I had to figure out for myself that might have made it a little easier for me if I didn't have to figure it out for myself. If I understood what that thing was. If I didn't feel like, well, everybody else stay in their seat, why can't I? Why can't I sit still? Why do I remember being yelled at in school for rocking, right? Keep still, stop wiggling your leg, and that sort of thing. And I'm like, and do you know how excruciating it is to have to sit still when you can't?
When you can't. Don't you think I would be sitting still if I could?
Right.
This is not something that I want to be able to do.
Right. And it is a struggle, it is a struggle. Like not being able to find your things. Like most people know where their things are. I don't know. So, I leave out the house. I'm late every day because, unfortunately, I had jobs and positions where I didn't have to be there at a certain time. If I did, I would have been fired a lot because I get up in the morning, and if I didn't leave things exactly where I could find them, does that make sense? I wouldn't be able to get out of the house. Like today, I walked through the house like 4 times looking for my keys, right? And I'm like, where are my keys? And it's because I didn't put them in the exact same place.
Where you usually do.
They were in my coat pocket of a jacket I had on this weekend. And so I'm walking and looking for my keys, right? And I have a little thing, one of my cheat codes, right? I have a thing on my keys where I can track them on my phone. Well, the battery's dead.
That's exactly what we need. Fantastic.
Right? Because that's another thing. Like, that's just the way my brain works. I know the battery is going dead, but like I'm just it's a thing I don't want to do. Right? I'm not motivated to get it done. So it doesn't get done. So that's that.
All right. Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What if, or have you thought about maybe keeping the charger in the car? Is it a charger?
I do have a charger car.
Okay.
Oh, don't tell you. I can tell you my charger story.
Okay.
I was at the barbershop and I take my laptop. I'm a workaholic. I work Anyway, I took my laptop out and I reached in my book bag, right, to get my charger. And I had like 8 chargers in there, right? Because I lose them. Because I lose things, right? And I'll buy a new one, right? And then I just stuff. I don't look in the bag. I just stuff it in the bag, right? So I pulled it out, this big ball of chargers in the barbershop. Fortunately, it was nobody. And my barber just started laughing hysterically.
I'm sure.
He was like, what the hell is that? I was like...
And see, here you guys go. I set that up perfectly because he told me the story last week and I wanted it to be...
My charger story?
You shouldn't have brought up chargers. Let the people
in order
see.
For me to get through my day and be productive, I have to replicate everything.
Okay.
Right? So I have a laptop and everywhere I go. I have a charger everywhere I go. Because if I forget one, it's right there, right? I don't have to worry about it. I buy ink pens in galore, right? And I got pens in my bag. I got pens here. I got pens I don't have to watch.
I'm the same way, but with certain items.
Right.
So if you think I don't have another pair of lashes, another couple of rings, nail glue, stuff for my eyebrows, if you think my edge control is not in that bag out there, you got another thing coming, sir.
You got your edge control? That's crazy.
The got to be spray, everything. It's in that bag.
Do you have any fear about this process at all? Like, what concerns you about us doing this, if anything?
If there were to be a concern, it would be I usually, or all throughout my life, did not have a hard time being vulnerable. As a matter of fact, I used to, won't say get in trouble, but, I used to get the snap out of it, or, oh, that's just Sherry, leave her be, like, we're not paying her no mind. From
Some of that still
family and
exists.
friends. Yes, exactly.
It annoys me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Just a little bit,
right?
Because it's like, again, just like what you said with the not sitting still. Do you think I want to be this way?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, the only thing that I would be concerned about is me being so vulnerable with certain things, because right off the bat, we already have like 500 episodes because we have everything to talk about.
I know, right?
Quite literally. Right. So, some of those, some of that content is going to be a little bit challenging to go over.
Yeah.
Just because, life...
And I think the challenge may be other people.
And I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
I don't want... There are, I don't...
You can't even get the words together. You tiptoeing around this.
I'm trying not to.
And you have to, by the way.
Yeah.
I get that. Does that make sense?
Like, I just kind of don't want anybody to kind of be like, oh, yeah, well, her story is my story. No, it's not.
Right.
It's in likeness to.
Right.
Right.
Because your story is uniquely yours.
Is uniquely mine. Yep. And then on the other hand, of others of being like, oh, yeah, I already knew that.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Watch the show.
Right.
Be happy and proud of me and sit down. And that's it.
So my biggest concern is you.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And your level of candidness. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I'm concerned about people in your life and our lives that I may or may not know.
Allegedly.
Not being able to handle it.
Yeah.
Right? And feeling away and not being able to separate, this is my story.
Yeah.
You're just a player in it. It's really not about you.
Yeah.
It's about how I felt at the time. That's one of my biggest fears, right?
And I think that
I actually started to call your mom this morning and said, I think you might need to talk Sherry through some stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But I decided I'm not gonna do that because I know you're gonna do that yourself, right? And when she sees the episode, she'll do that.
Yeah.
Do that for you. My other fear is, and this is you're gonna laugh about what it's like.
Go right on ahead.
So one of my fears is if I'm gonna be lit, because I'm a chocolate dude, right? If I'm gonna be lit right? The second fear is if I'm gonna look pudgy on the screen.
Now you're concerned about looking pudgy. What about my sausage legs?
I'm not messing
with
that.
What about it?
Right. But that's really what my thing is. I have this life experience where things happen with me and for me very organically. It's not what I planned, but things just kind of happen. I think that there are forces in the universe that kind of move you a certain way. I think this is the right thing to do. Like I told you, I remember when we started talking about it, you was like, if you get enough followers, and I was like, I don't care about that stuff, right? Yeah. First of all, I don't know if I want a sponsor, because then I'm have to not say something, because everybody has a contract they want you to say, well, you can't say that, right? And I can say some really outrageous stuff,
egregious
egregious, right? Exactly. And so I actually want the option of being egregious, right? And I'm a 58-year-old man. I'm not censoring myself right now. I understand that we have an audience and all that other good stuff. I'm going to tell you, do you know how hard it's been in this last few minutes not to curse? Because every other word about it.
I get it. I totally get it. I do.
I'm having to think through, how can I say that while I'm saying the F word?
Exactly. And I get it. And we're only going to get better.
Right, exactly.
And that's fine. David doesn't have a filter, right? And he does. We both have filters. He doesn't have a filter.
Really don't.
I do, but it depends on how what do you call it? What do you mean? What do you call it?
No, I don't know.
It depends on how deeply I feel about it.
Right.
So my filter or non-filterness is what is coming out of my mouth and how it is, right?
You're my politically correct filter,
Yes,
right?
I'm the
because
politically correct
you
filter.
are you're not even 30 yet, right?
thank
So it's things that I've been saying all my life, right? But
Yeah.
apparently now it's offensive, right?
It
And
is.
So I'll say a thing, you can't say that,
can't
and
say
I'm
that.
like, why not?
Because it's not the right thing to do
Exactly.
anymore.
And I'm like, okay, well, you're making me use a lot of words
Yeah,
to say.
but we shouldn't have
you
to
know.
censor ourselves. But that's another cool part about it. Like, we don't have to filter ourselves, but so much. Because I'm going to say this is really an outlet to piggyback off of what you said. It's not about viewers or likes
Right.
or whatever. If that comes,
It come-
fantastic, right? But I want to be able to say what it is that maybe I couldn't say before.
Yep.
Or maybe because I couldn't articulate it.
Right.
Or maybe because I didn't have the person.
I love that
to
you say
talk
that.
to.
Maybe I couldn't articulate
Maybe
it. Right?
I
It was
could-
there to say, but you couldn't.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm just trying. Thank you. So it's gonna be great, and it really is just a kiki. For anybody that does not know what a kiki is a good time with your best people. And like I said earlier, I couldn't imagine doing this with anyone else ever. Actually, we'll talk about that in another episode. And this is an outlet for not only the people we want to reach, but for us.
Right.
Like, let's get some stuff off our chest and go home and then see, who comes back.
So as we close this out, like, tell the audience like one thing that nobody knows about you.
You know what? Maybe a lot of people don't know this about me because I don't allow them to see it. It's a protection thing for me. I really am not mean. I really am.
Okay, keep going.
There was a
sound.
glitch in the audio, guys. Forgive us. I really am not mean. I really am more afraid of you than what you are of me.
Right.
There's maybe one or two particular people at our office that avoids me at all costs. Not in like I don't like her attitude type of way, but almost like it's a genuine fear, like I don't want to be around or disrupt her.
Right.
But I am terrified of interacting with anybody, even people that I know.
Right.
More than you could ever be afraid
Right.
of interacting with me.
And some of what they see is really just a fear of response.
Right.
That, I'm afraid of you,
Yeah.
and how can I protect myself from
Right.
you
Right.
when everything in my being is telling me I should.
Right.
And people don't get that.
And being angry or coming off angry or coming off, like kind of tougher and no nonsense is way easier for me than to actually be the teddy bear that I
Right.
want to be or that I truly feel that I
Right.
am.
I think what people don't know, you probably know this. There's some people know this, that I love superheroes.
Yes, you do.
Marvel,
Yes.
DC.
Yes.
That's my thing. Like, and most people wouldn't think, because I think sometimes folks think I'm always serious.
Yes.
That I could literally sit in a room and watch Marvel all day.
Yeah.
Right. And like literally lose myself in it. Like imagine like, oh wow, if I was Iron Man, I would do this.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. So I think that's my kind of thing that most people don't know, that I really enjoy that. I think we're coming to the end.
Yes, we are.
How you want to close this out?
I have no idea. You said I don't know.
Was I supposed to?
Yes, you were.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I forgot.
Okay,
Like, I didn't write it down.
I forgot.
If I don't,
We're off to a great start, folks.
If I don't write it down, it don't get happy.
Thank you all for joining us. We really hope that you guys were, we were able to provide a pretty okay or interesting look into who we are so far. And we really do hope that you'll come back because we have a lot of good stuff to talk about. Dr. David.
I definitely want to thank everybody who will watch
Yes.
this. And if you do like it, just, click like and subscribe. And you'll get even more content.
Yeah. And
Have a
if you
good day.
didn't like it, you watched it anyway.
Yeah, so you did.
Have a good day.
You can't get that time
You
back.
can't get it back.